Valar Morgulis, and welcome back to another interview special from the Wolf and the Crows, bringing you the cast and crew that went into the making of Game of Thrones.
Kick ass, we're pumping these out, hey. We all have cornered in quarantine, so we're fucking getting them, striking while the iron's hot and fucking getting them and interviewing them. Brilliant. Who'd you have on, Bobby?
We had none other than Paul Lowe, stuntman extraordinaire.
Yeah.
This guy has an impressive CV if you check him out in IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he's got a niche, so he generally is the stunt double for kids.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of small stuntmen. Paul's only 4'8", but he was also the stunt double for Chris Hemsworth in Thor Ragnarok.
And do you know how that works?
Paul will explain all in the video, so we can check it out.
Nice, man.
Valar Morgulis, and welcome back, guys, to the Wolf and the Crows. We've got another awesome interview for you today from the cast and crew that went into making Game of Thrones itself. Today we've got none other than stuntman Paul Lowe, who's agreed to come on to the show. How you doing today, Paul?
Yeah, not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, keeping busy during this lockdown. So we'll start you straight into the questions, Paul. First thing I want to know is, how did you first get into the stunt business? Was there anything that influenced you to get into stunts?
No, not really. Growing up, I wanted to be an actor. That's what I used to do. So I used to, in school, I done a lot of theatre, and I done the National Youth Music Theatre. So we'd go and do shows around the country, and then I finished. We'd done them. I done a show in the West End with them. And then I done another show in the West End, Whistle Down the Wind, like a professional show. And I always wanted to go into the acting route. That's what I always wanted to do. But growing up, I was always quite physical. I used to box a little bit. And even in acting, it was physical comedy. I used to love doing stuff. So I was doing a show in London, and my contract was coming up, and I didn't want to carry on. And my agent at the time, she was like, "Oh, there's an audition here to be the lead stunt double of a film called The Mummy Returns, to double a little boy on it, Alex, the lead character." And I was like, "Well, I'm not a stuntman." They're like, "No, we just want someone small, and you're a perfect size. You should go and do it." And I was like, "I'll do it. It'd be a bit of fun." And being from Liverpool and my upbringing, I was always like very physical and rough, and I was like, doing stunts wouldn't bother me. But so I went, done the audition, and got it. And then I was working with a lot of people then who were like on that film, like Rob Inch, who he's gone on now to be a big stunt coordinator, Star Wars. I was working alongside them, like Rowley Earlham, who was just one of the lads then, who's become to be one of my best mates. He obviously was the stunt coordinator of many of the Game of Thrones series. So just, I done that film, and they were saying, "Go away and do your training to become a stuntman." And because I had a good time and I enjoyed it, I was like, I'll go and do that, because it's something different. I enjoy doing it. It's like, I've got my own niche because I'm 4'8", so I can double kids. So I went away, trained for 2 years, and I was lucky then that sort of where my career went. I've still done acting in between, and I've had like a nice few little parts in some TV bits over the years, but mostly my work has been stunts.
Yeah, I mean, with the getting trained up over the 2 years, there's what is there 6 disciplines that you have to do to get yourself onto the register?
Yeah, so you get to choose what you want to do.
What do you do yourself in?
So I done horse riding, gymnastics, trampolining, scuba diving, Thai boxing, and swimming. And so some of them, like boxing, the Thai boxing side wasn't too difficult because I'd done boxing before.
Did you nearly go professional or semi-pro, did you? Or?
No, I turned professional, but long story, but I ended up not fighting because I just was getting messed around by that many people. But I would have been the smallest ever professional boxer if I would have fought. But I was I was on shows, but then with pro boxing, it's like, it's politics. So someone will pull out and then they'll say, "Oh, well, you got to go on the next show." And I was just getting messed around all the time. And I was like, I was training like a madman because I wanted to be good and to look good and to do well. But it became, I was turning work down to box. And then I wasn't in the boxing. So I was like, you know what? I've got to concentrate on me. I've got to, even though I still box now, I still go and train and keep fit, and I love it. But I'm like, I need to concentrate on my career. I need to concentrate on what I want to do rather than just getting these false promises by promoters and like Frank Maloney, who I was working alongside, then he put me on his shows, but my manager was just some idiot. He was actually from Ireland as well, this manager. And he just was lying to me all the time. And I thought, you know what? I don't want to, I'm just wasting my time, getting lies and the politics boxing. I'm going to concentrate on my career in stunts.
Yeah. I suppose the stunt industry then, is it similar to a lot of other industries where it's, once you get your foot in the door and you know people, then obviously it's a lot easier to get a lot of work with the same guys? Yeah,
it is. But I guess in the stunt industry, because you're basically, you're doing stunts, so you're constantly not being tested, but you're there to do a stunt. So if you're good and if you're a good team player, then you'll work. If you go in and you go to a stunt and you're not like, you don't have the balls for it, excuse me language, but you need to be game. You need to want to do it. If you go in and you're not really sort of that keen, then that looks bad on you. So you've got, you can go in, but it's the same as anything. The stunt world is a very sort of small world, and if you don't go in, or if you're a pain in the ass, or if you have like an attitude, that goes around quite quick. But I was lucky because being 4'8", there wasn't anyone my size, so straight away I had like a niche where people would hear about me and phone me up and go, "I've heard you're 4'8", we need so and so." So I gradually sort of just picked up contacts, and then over the years, if there's someone small needs to be doubled, then obviously my name will always get thrown in the hat because people know me now because of my size, and hopefully because I can do a good job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I suppose there's that niche part in the market that sort of.
Yeah, I was lucky, really. I might even be that good, or what they need for the job, but they can't get no one else, so they're like, well, we'll just have to make do. And that will be the case sometimes. Other times it's like, well, if they want a kid to get knocked over, they can't get no one else, and like I'm very physical and I'm fit, so they can knock me over. You can't knock a kid over. So in other ways, then it's like they can do things to me they couldn't do to anyone else. So in that sense, they're lucky as well. So it's just finding what you're good at, I guess, and just trying to work at that.
I mean, did I see somewhere as well that you did some sort of body double for or stunt double for Chris Hemsworth? Did great. I mean, that obviously wasn't because of your height.
Yeah, well, that's again. So they just said, "Oh, we want you to be a scale double for Chris." And in my head, and it was to go to Australia, and I was like, "Well, I don't know what this is, but it's for fighting." And I was like, maybe it's just they want me to be in the costume, and they'll make a scaled down costume. And I was like, and I got to Australia, and it wasn't that. It was basically in Thor Ragnarok, there's the arena where he fights the Hulk.
Yeah.
And so I had a motion capture suit on. So it's basically, for people who don't know, you wear like a suit, black suit, and have all these dots over you, and they then take all the dots, and that connects to like a version of Thor, on the computer. And whatever I move, Thor moves. And they basically, down the line, they take that and they'll turn me into like a Thor. So what it was, there was me, 4'8", and then they had a guy who was really tall, and he was the Hulk. And the height difference between me and him was exactly the same as what it would be between Thor and the Hulk in real time. So it would be on Chris's face doing stuff, and then when it was like a long shot of like Thor being thrown into a wall or Thor fighting with the Hulk, that was me doing stuff. So we'd do the fight stuff or whatever, and I'd be doing it with the big guy in a suit, and they'd take us out and then obviously replace it and make it look like it was Thor double and fighting the Hulk. It was good. I was there for a month. I got flown to Australia. I was doing like the big scene. So all the stuff, like, it's in the trailer. There's a shot of me and we jump up in the air and go like we meet, boom, in the air, and I jump up. Well, that's me and the Hulk. And then they just obviously changed it and done all the computer stuff. So it's it's Chris and the Hulk doing it. But there's loads of cool stuff we done.
Pretty class, like, yeah.
But I still technically doubled Chris. I doubled the Hulk.
How did that lead on to you then getting work on Game of Thrones?
Well, Game of Thrones. When did you start doing Game of Thrones? Were you in the first series?
I was season 5.
I was season 1. So basically, I was doing. I think I'd worked on a film, the first Batman film. I think it was that, or the second Batman film, and I'd worked a lot with that stunt coordinator, Paul Jennings. Yeah. And his assistant at the time phoned me up and was like, "Oh, Lowe, we need small double to double one of the characters on this. And I was like, what is it? And he's like, Game of Thrones. And I was like, oh, what's that? And he's like, oh, it's a new thing for HBO, but it's like, it's like dragons, it's like magic, it's like set years ago. And I was like, sounds awful. In my head, I was like, sounds like that's not gonna go anywhere. And I was like, whatever, I'll do it. And he's like, it's in Belfast. And I went over, and I remember my first day on set was, remember the first series when all the guys like Jon Snow and all the young guys were training, and you had like them weird funny costumes on, you doing all the sword fighting in the back. And it's the first time you sort of see John. And I remember standing there and seeing Kit, and one of my friends actually played one of them. He was in it for a couple of seasons, and so I was just watching that. And then I was there to double for Peter Dinklage. So he had to do a lot in the first series. He gets captured and he gets taken. He's on a horse, and there's loads of stuff on a horse. So I basically was there to do all that stuff for Peter, because he obviously can't ride, and it's very dangerous to be on a horse. So I was just doing all the stuff on the hills, horse riding. And then after that, I done quite a bit on season 1, and the stuff with like the guy who ended up being in the wheelchair, when he was a kid then years ago, when he falls out to the and when he gets thrown out of the tower. Well, I rehearsed all that and went to do it. And then on the day I was doing something else, and so there was a girl there called Talila, and she ended up getting in that costume and doing that stuff. So there's loads of different things you do on it on the first series, and then I didn't do the second, third, and then I think it was the fourth I came back on it, and then I worked on them all then until the end.
And season 8, at the start of it, at the Last Hearth, I was on set there watching you get set on fire as a little Ned Umber.
Yeah,
I mean, that was just mental and crazy to sort of watch you getting sort of hung up on the wall and set on fire. Like, I mean, how was that experience? And
what did you think about seeing it? What did you know what was going on? Were you all told, or what?
No, it was just sort of, we knew it was Ned Umber being put up, but I mean, and the basis of the storyline, why we were there and what was going on.
Yeah.
But I mean, seeing you hung up there and setting fire. I mean, two things stood out. First, it was fucking mental, like you getting, setting somebody on fire. The second thing was the safety with Riley. The steps that he went through.
Yeah.
To make sure that everything was safe and everything was, your safety was paramount, and it was an experience just watching the whole process of it.
When I went up to the first one, what did you think? Did you think it would be as big, or did you think it wasn't going to be as big, or what did you think?
No, it was definitely bigger than what I expected. I thought there potentially would have been a lot more CGI.
Yeah.
On it. But no, I mean, you were just set on flames for what seemed like an awful long time when you're standing watching it. Like,
yes, it's strange, isn't it? Well, so basically we were doing, I think it was a film called Dumbo. Yeah, I was with Riley on that, and he said, "Oh, do you want to set a young kid on fire, Ned Umber, and you want him to be attached to a wall? And obviously, Lowe, you'd be perfect for it." And I was actually traveling. I was in Thailand, and I was like, "I'll come back for it," because I've done fire stuff before, but I've been like my arm on fire, my back on fire. But very rarely do you get opportunities to be a full fire burn. And because I'm like, I double kids.
Yeah.
It's not very often you'll see a kid get set on, like a full burn set on fire, because TV wouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
And the thing with HBO, they can do whatever they want, because it's people pay to watch it, and if they'll take license, they want people to go, oh no, they've set someone on fire here. So and also I think it was the first time that it had been a young kid on fire on any TV show, because a few seasons before they set that young girl on fire on Game of Thrones. But what they done was very clever. You see her there, and then you see the torch coming to set her on fire. And as the flame starts, the camera goes onto all the actors, and they're just going like, "Oh my god!" You don't actually see it on fire.
Yeah. So
it was a good trick by them. So this is the first time. So I was like, "Listen, I'm in Thailand, but I'll come back for it 100%. It'll be a real cool opportunity to do a big fire burn." So I went to get the face cast, because obviously that's a big mask put on, and done that, and then I went over for a costume fitting, and then they went on the day. We just was basically, it was what it was. I went in before everyone turned up, and Riley spoke through it, and some of the safety guys were there, and he said, we're going to film a lot now. We've got a lot to film before we come to your fire stunt. So just chill out.
Yeah.
But it's really difficult to chill out for 6 hours when you know your fire stunt's coming up, and then what happens is, like, you'll know yourself because you were there on the day, but it's like you're all doing all your stuff, it's all relaxed. Next minute, I'll get a thing saying, Lowe, we're nearly ready for your shot. And then it's like, it's all, get ready. And that's a pain in the arse. And even Riley, like, I love him to bits and he's a good mate of mine, but he'd come into the tent and he'd be like, oh, come on. And I'd be like, just do me a favour, just chill out. Because everyone wants to, you know, and it's respectful to Riley, he knows himself, but everyone wants to make you go, yeah. And it's like, I need especially normally you wouldn't, but in this case, when I'm about to be set on fire, I just want to do it. I want to get ready and do it methodical, so I'm not shitting myself and doing all stuff. I just want to relax. And so lucky for me, obviously with the relationship I've got with Riley, I know him very well, and he was like, no, yeah, okay, let's just chill out, let's do this. And we got on set, and it was, you're nervous because you know what's going to happen, but I also know the safety procedure. I know who's there. I know the guys looking after me. The worst thing for me is that we got on set, and it was like, and I was relaxed, and I don't know if you can remember, but he literally said, "Okay, get him up," and they got me up, and they put the mask on straight away. And when they put the mask on, it goes like round here, and it's not tight round here, but you can feel it round your neck, and it's basically, in the mouth is a circle, and it's like a little sort of tube, and you just suck on it. So you're breathing through this little tube, but every now and again it'll close, and so you've got to like go and open it, and so you're trying to just relax and breathe slowly, and then all of a sudden you can't, and it's quite restricting. You can't see anything out them little sort of perspex eyes. And then what they were doing was they wanted to put the costume on, so they literally, I've got the mask on, and then they're putting this costume on and moving me around, and then my breathing's getting stuck. And I'm trying to just chill out, and I'm like, and it's horrible. Like, you're not getting like nervous because of what's going on. You're more just like, I want to be relaxed, and yet I can't be relaxed because I'm getting pulled, and this is happening. I've got this around my neck. So when they put the costume on, you literally going like, and Riley came over and he was like, okay, Lowe, just chill out. I understand now everyone's been pulling and pushing you. Just zone out, close your eyes, just deep breaths, take it easy. And I was like, yeah, okay. Like, he can't hear me speak, so I just sat there. There was a guy, Lee Madden, who was one of my good friends. He was my safety on my side. And I said to Lee, just make sure everything's cool. I know you're there because I can't see, so you're like just like blind. And I was like, oh, Lee's there if you need anything. And then I sat there then for like, I think it was 45 minutes with all this going on. And they're getting stuff ready and doing the cameras. And what we said, we'll do it once and we'll film it. We'll bring the cameras back and we film it from like further away. And we'll probably, hopefully by doing that, I'm coming here, maybe 10 minutes, you'll have in that match and we'll do it again. And I was like, yeah, no worries. So we've done the first one. And honestly, it felt like, imagine getting like a match and doing that. And that's it. It just felt like a little tiny flicker of light. So when, I don't know if you can remember, on the day I had like a sword and I had to like throw it down and do all this stuff. And eventually, and then it was a count and I had to sort of die on the count and then be still on at the end. I remember when we done it, and in my head I was thinking, I wasn't on fire then, because it just felt like a little tiny bit of flicker of it didn't feel like I was on fire at all. And you okay? And I was like, yeah, fine. Like, and obviously what you do is you bite down on this tube so you can't breathe anything in, you hold your breath. So when they put you out, I'm breathing again, and like, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, fine, I'm okay, I'm fine. And I remember going, Lee. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, was I on fire then?
Yeah.
Can I swear? I'm allowed to swear.
Yeah. Oh, you can swear away. That's yeah.
And he went, it was a fucking fireball. And I was, because you just don't know, like, oh, and then this 10-minute space where he said it'll be 10-15 minutes, I ended up sitting there again for like 45 minutes before they done the second one. And well, you know, because you were there. So, but I was literally just sitting there trying to chill out, but I can't see nothing. You've got people speaking, you can't really hear what they're saying. And then by the time they done the second fight, the second setup, and we got set on fire, and it was fine for me, put me out. And then you can see this because they done like a behind the scenes on YouTube and people can watch it, but they take the mask off me and you see me face and I'm like, I'm all happy. And I think people think I was happy because I was being set on. I wasn't. I was just so happy to get the mask off because I'd been in it for like over an hour and a half. I've been set on fire twice, but I literally just imagine there with this on, all this costume on, this stuff on your face, breathing through a tube, and not being able to see or hear anyone for like an hour and a half, plus trying to perform, trying to do it right, do it safe. Some questions that I'd had, like, rally, and he can't hear me, and he's like, what? And I'm like, I just want to double check on that count, and you're asking questions, yeah. And I'm like, it becomes a lot more difficult to speak or to communicate when you got this on your face, and then all of a sudden people are saying, oh, remember this, or we want to check, and I'm like, oh. But it was fine, it went really well, but there was just a lot of different things to sort of cope with. And we're very lucky because Riley's obviously very professionally done a lot of fire burns. The fire team we had were great. The ADs we had, the directors, the assistant director, everyone knew what was going on, and we were given time to do it. But then it comes down to me and the Stunt team to do what we've rehearsed and do it safe. But it was a cool thing to do. But I just remember being like, I'm just so fed up of sitting here for an hour and a half with this on my face and not being able to see anything.
Wait, when you say you rehearse it, I mean, do you do a full body burn as part of the rehearsal, or was that literally the first time that you'd ever been sort of in a full burn?
No, that's not the first time being a full burn, but what I mean in the day. So basically, remember, the way they done it for people who are watching. I'll just stand up a little as you see. So basically, I had like a pole coming out. So what it was, there was like a metal thing coming round here, and it was like a big metal square, and then a metal thing was stuck on it and a pole coming out, and then that curved round me so I could obviously slip in and out that side, and then underneath was like a bike seat. So I got into this and they put all the costume over it so it looked like I was stabbed.
Yeah.
So basically in the day we sat in it, got in it, made sure I could move, made sure what they wanted to do, and we sort of rehearsed what we think it might be and the safety procedures of if I panicked or if I could feel fire, what I'd have to do. And but we didn't actually. Not very rarely will you put the fire stuff on and rehearse a big fire burn, because there's obviously a lot of danger involved. There's a lot of money involved. And also for me, I had a costume, so if you can't rehearse it with the costume on, because then you burn the costumes a bit. So there's a lot of things. You got to go. Here's what we do. We ask like, how big do you want the fire? What do you want it like? And we can control that to some extent. And then it is just basically, I've got to follow what I know. I've got to try and be relaxed. I've got to make sure I follow all the safety precautions. I make sure I bite down. I listen to what's going on. And then if we do that correctly, then you get a good shot. If you don't, if I panic and open my mouth and breathe, and then all of a sudden the fire goes down my neck, and then I burn my lungs and I'm panicking and they put me out, then, that's very good. And that's why, a good stunt team, a good stunt coordinator, good people around you, that's what makes it work.
I mean, that was obviously safely done. You've had a pretty long, you've been working, nearly 20 years?
Yeah, stunt-wise, yeah.
Stuntman. Have you ever had any serious injuries? I mean, I know on Thrones, I think in season 5 in Hardhome, there was one of the guys that got his arm stuck as the gate comes down in Hardhome, the big sort of wooden fence, and he broke his arm or something. And
I was there then. So I was on Hardhome. I actually played one of remember the whites, the kid whites?
Yeah.
So the first time, and he was a little skinny kid with a hole, and he was the guy by him with the hood up.
Yes.
So I was the little one with the hood up who ran at the woman and grabbed her. So I was there. What it was basically the fence fell, and it was a stuntman. It was a one-off, but it was a stuntman. Everyone had hold of the fence. So as the fence fell, they held it, and for whatever reason, he didn't hold it. He tried to ride it, and the fence came down. And I think what happened was, as it came down, he landed and it sort of came up, and unfortunately, he broke his leg. But listen, we don't want that to happen. But that's what you're in. That you're a stuntman. You're there to take a risk. You try and eliminate all the risk, but there's still a risk. So lucky for me, I haven't been badly injured. I've had fractures. I've had quite a lot of concussions, but I haven't had like major ones. Like, I've got a friend of mine, David Holmes. He was the stunt double on Harry Potter. He was like Harry's double, and rehearsing the stunt, it went wrong and he broke his neck. So he's in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. So for me, it's very real. I know the dangers that can happen.
Yeah.
And I've got friends who, you know, have had bad injuries, but I've been very fortunate, touch wood, that I haven't had nothing really big yet. Fingers crossed that I ever will.
Yeah. I mean, working in the industry for 20 years, you have a pretty impressive CV of the stuff that you've worked on. You know, some of the biggest blockbusters of the last 20 years. You know, we've got Last Jedi, Thor Ragnarok that you'd mentioned, The Mummy, Harry Potter, Dark Knight, Jason Bourne, Fast and the Furious. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, apart from Thrones, what would have been your favorite set to work on?
I don't know. It's a hard question to say because everything you do has like nice memories of it. You know.
Yeah.
Thor was great because I got flown to Australia for a month, and I was working with good friends, and like you get to catch up with people you haven't seen for a while. And Australia's beautiful. I got to fly there and got put up in a real nice place. You get treated really well. Same, I got to fly to New Zealand for Prince Caspian years ago, and New Zealand is an amazing place. But I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's hard. I think the way I'll say it is like sometimes you do a film and you won't know it's going to be big, and then it blows up, and then you get to work on the second one, and you're like this is amazing, and that's quite cool. Like Batman, when I done the first Batman with Chris Nolan, I worked on the second one and the third one. So when you go back, you're like, this is cool to be back on the end. And Chris Nolan's like, hey Paul, how you doing? And you're like, yeah. Then like, you know, growing up, I was really into Tim Burton. Loved all his films, watched them all the time as a kid. P.M. was like one of the first sort of films I used to watch over and over again. I've done 2 Tim Burton films now, like, and I can't say I know him, but if I bumped into him in the street, I could say, hey Tim, and I'd speak to him like I'm on set with Tim Burton. He's like, hey Paul, listen, we want to do, and for me, I think it's lovely, but it's very strange because like I'm a kid who grew up loving his films, and now I'm working alongside him, and he knows me, and he's asking my advice maybe to do stuff. That's quite strange, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd say Star Wars, that was one that was a bit. I'm a big geek. I've loved Star Wars since I was a kid. I've got 3 brothers. I had all the figures. I'd always wanted to do it, and then when the first 3 came out were obviously amazing, and then the next 3 came out like Phantom Menace, and even though they weren't good, I was like, I'd love to have been in them.
Yeah.
And then the new Star Wars came out, and when the first one was getting filmed, I was on what was I doing? I was doing another film, so I wasn't available. Not to be asked, but I wasn't available anyway. And then when the second one was being filmed, I got asked to go and be a creature. So I went and done it all the fittings, and then my first day on set, I was in Ireland, and I was doing a scene as a creature, which I'd always wanted to be a creature in Star Wars. If you say to me, do you want to be a cool creature in Star Wars or to be yourself, I'd say a creature. I just thought,
yeah.
And I was on set as a creature, and Daisy Ridley was doing a line to me. No, Luke Skywalker was there doing a line to me, and I had to shout at Daisy Ridley, and like R2-D2 was behind me, Chewbacca was there, and I remember being like, I'm inside this costume, and no one could see how happy I am. Like literally, because I was there, and they'd be like, "Okay, so Mark, if you want to turn to Paul and say that line, and then you okay with that, Paul?" I'd be like, "Yeah." And I'm thinking, this is amazing. And that was so, you know, like again, just as a kid, to think I'd ever be in Star Wars is amazing. To think that I'd be like a creature in Star Wars was even better. You know what I mean? Like it was one of my last days on set. We had to do a scene, and it actually got. Have you seen the Last Jedi? No, The Last Jedi.
Last Jedi, yeah.
Well, there's a bit in it where Daisy is training, and she gets this rock, and this rock falls down the mountain, and there's like these 2 caretakers in it. It's like a wheelbarrow, and it's sitting, he's from there, and he's like, "Look, so that was me," and that was like we filmed that one of my last days, and I remember normally in the costume you normally stay in for like 35 minutes because it's like very hot and it's thingy. And I remember it was the last day, and I think I was in the costume for like 2 hours. And you know, okay? And I was like, yeah, fine. I was like,
just don't want to take it off.
I don't want to moan or complain because it's my last ever day on Star Wars, and I want them to get me back to something else and something else. And I was like, yeah. And that was a good experience because, you know, that's a big credit to have for me, like Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, that maybe answers the next question, but I mean, is there any franchise or film series or books that are being developed as films that you would love to be a part of that hasn't came across your path so far?
Going back to Star Wars, I'd like to actually, not that I ever will, but it would be nice to think I could play a proper part. Like in that Star Wars, I was a character, like a little featured character, but that was it. You were in like 2 or 3 scenes. But I guess it'd be amazing to be like not R2-D2 or C-3PO because they're iconic, but imagine being like a little creature part where you had like quite a lot going on. That'd be cool in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. I never sort of think like that, to be honest. I know there's things I'd like to do and maybe develop myself, but no, not, because I've done the Marvel world. I've been stuff like that. I've been lucky at, in Batman, I basically played Batman. I done the stunts. That was the reason why Batman became Batman. I was the kid who fell down the well. I got to play young Bruce Wayne. And then in it, I got to be saved by Batman in another scene. Actually, I got to be saved by Batman like 3 times, I think, in the first one and the second one. So a lot of them sorts of like I loved Batman when I was a kid. I got to do that when I was a kid growing up. I used to always watch Thunderbirds. I got to be in the original Thunderbirds film years ago. Like I used to watch Bugsy Malone when I was a kid. I was obsessed with musicals and that, and then ended up being one of the lead parts in that in the West End. So like I know it's not a film, but so a lot of things I used to watch and enjoy when I was a kid, like Star Wars, I got to be in that. So I don't know. There's not many that I can say, oh yeah, I'd love to do this. Like Game of Thrones is weird because when you've done it once, you go, I want to get back on it, and we all did. We got to work on it. So, but people say, would you want to do anything else on the new Game of Thrones? I'm like, if it happens, then yeah. But it's not like an ambition because I got to be in the original. Any spin-offs or whatever, that would be cool. But like to like you yourself to say we were part of Game of Thrones, and when you speak about it, I can say to someone, oh, I was a part in Star Wars, and I'll go, oh, I was in Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Like so.
I mean, but back to Thrones. What would have been your favorite memory or your favorite scene to film? Your favorite part of your whole sort of nearly 10 years on the show, like.
I don't know, because I don't know about yourself, but I think, especially that last season, it got really emotional, especially near the end. Like it just did. Like if every season you do it, and I'd be like, well, I know I'll be back probably next year. I'll be back again next year. And it was never, when we done the last one, it was like, we'll never be back. And were you there when Miguel done that big speech? And he said, go off. You should all go off now and go and take a minute in some part of the set and just take it all in because you'll never have this again.
I was on that day, but Andy, the other guy from the channel, he was on that day, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and he's a legend, Andy, by the way. But yeah. So what I done was then everyone walked away and he was like a little party on set and he was beer and Miguel come over and so I just took myself away and I went down to that road where the main street where the thing comes down, everyone was dying and it was empty. And I basically just stood there and just took it all in. So I was lucky because I got to work on a lot of them and got to do a lot of stuff. Got to play white, got to be part of massive fire burns with 20 odd people and got to do nice stuff myself. But I think just to stand there and know that it was ending and for a little bit just taking all the little emotional of like my friends had made, the places have been, the experiences, that was a little bit of a moment for me where I just stood there and I was like, okay, I probably will never have this again. So I'll enjoy this because this has been a very like important part of my career and a very special part of my career really because Thrones wasn't like any other TV or film you'd work on. It was very much family orientated and it was very much
like one big massive family because people had spent long together, like
and people were grafting it all the time, like from the supporting artists to the stunts to the actors. It wasn't like everyone in it was easy. It was hard work. When then night shoots we done for 3 months. Was it 3 months or 4 months?
It was just over 3 months, yeah.
So we done like
a long night,
3 months of night shoots, and all you guys are getting blood all over your face every day, and all sticky stuff down you, and outside in the cold, and then we'd have all the prosthetics on, and you'd be getting all them horrible masks to put on, and it would be outside, and it would be really snowing, it would be freezing. Yeah, and then they'd be putting fake snow, and it'd be like, this is not easy. But that's why now it feels so good, because it was hard work. You know, it wasn't like it was easy; it was hard, but it was worth it because it was what we were a part of was amazing.
Yeah. Was there anything about Belfast or Northern Ireland that you enjoyed while you spent your time here?
Well, look, I've been to Belfast quite a lot before Game of Thrones. I've done quite a few things over there, and I'm a Scouser, and people from Belfast, Ireland, but especially Belfast, are very similar to Scousers. They got big hearts, they're very funny, they like a good laugh, and I used to love going over to Belfast for obviously to film, but also even to see the place. And on the last series, we were there for I think I was there for 7 months. Yeah, and I love the place. I love, Belfast is a very warm place. Like Belfast, when I first went to Belfast, is very different to what it was at the end. Like even the shopping and everything else, it wasn't like that. And at the end, it was like a massive shop. People would be there every weekend. It'd be like a party place, and there was just a real nice buzz about the place. And I used to just walk around on my own sometimes in music and just enjoy it and walk along the water or go to Yo Sushi. And the girl in Yo Sushi had been going for like 3 years, and she's like, "Hey, how you doing? How's Game of Thrones?" Chatting, and then like one of the cast would walk in, and it was just a nice little buzz about it. You know what I mean? And I think it'll be sad now because, obviously Game of Thrones is not happening again, but just the people, like a little story. We stayed in the Holiday Inn for 7 months on the last one, and there was at one point there was like 50 stuntmen in there, and it was packed. And on the end, the very last day, it was just me, because I was one of the last people to leave. So it went from like 50 odd stuntmen in there over like 7 months to just me. And there was one woman who was like, she'd bring all the letters to your room, and I think she'd change stuff, whatever. And she was lovely. We used to have a laugh every day. And I seen her in the lift, and I've seen her probably for the last 6 years, and I said, "I'm going now." She went, "Oh, well, when are you back?" And I was like, "No, that's it." She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "That's it. Game of Thrones is finished, and I'm the last one." And she got all upset, and she was like, "I can't believe I'm getting upset, but I'll miss all you." And I was like, "Listen, we'll be back at some point. Maybe not Game of Thrones, but we'll always come back." And she was like, "It's been a real pleasure being around all you lot, and you're a lovely little fella. You're my little mate." And I felt upset and I was like, I'm saying goodbye to a woman who delivers me letters in the room or whatever. But even just that, she loved us and we loved her, because you'd see her every day and you'd have a crack, and she'd be messing around and be a little bit of banter. And then I remember going downstairs to reception, and I was like, "That's it, I'm going. We've all finished now." And he was like, "Well, thank you." And I was like, "Listen, thank you as well for all you've done for us over the years, and even for the last 7 months. This hotel and the people in it have been amazing." And it was like a real sort of, sounds corny, a real sort of like connection and gratitude, like genuinely, thank you very much. You could have just sat there and not helped when I say I've got to print off 5 things to send to whatever, go not doing it. Anything I wanted as a hotel, yeah, of course you will. Anything I'd ask for, people would try and do it for you. And I don't know whether that was because you're in Game of Thrones, whatever, but people genuinely just wanted to help all the time. So to say goodbye to that and goodbye to them people, didn't matter if it was the team or the woman who worked delivering the letters, it was a strange, weird situation.
Yeah. I mean, what's next for Paul? I mean, there's a couple of big films coming out next year that are highly anticipated, especially Morbius with Jared Leto, and I believe the sequel to The Hitman's Bodyguard, The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard with Ryan Reynolds. Anything else in the pipeline that you can discuss? Or
so I was on Morbius, but I only worked like a week and a half on it. And what happens as a stuntman is, you'll know yourself, but we can come in and we can be on a film or a TV show all the way through, or we'll just get called up and just for a day's work or a week's work. So on Morbius, I was just in for like a week doing little bits, but I can't really speak about it. But it was just nice to be around it all, and a nice little credit to be on that. And then Hitman's Bodyguard, the second one. Have you seen the first one?
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I like a bit of Ryan Reynolds.
So the fight scene at the end, I'm the guy who jumps on the other guy's head, and he in that big fight, and you can see I'm like grabbing his eyes, and it's quite a funny scene. So basically, they got me in to do similar on this next one, but it didn't really. But they got me in to do it, and he was like, "Yeah, we're going to do the same sort of gag." And then when it came today, it was like everything was very rushed and very so. I'm in it and we're fighting, but it's basically just like, again, there's just like loads of fighting that goes on, and it's just more of the same. But as far as what I've been doing, we done so last year we started the film. A good friend of mine who's like he was a stuntman himself, but went into like second year directing. He wrote a film called School Fight, and he wrote a script. This is like a year and a half ago, and we'd rehearse it and go through it. And then a year ago, almost of the day we started filming. So we filmed most of last year, just doing like weekends and some weeks, and then we went away to Dubai in January to finish it off. And now that film is getting edited, but I've got like a nice acting role in that. I've got like one of the lead parts, and luckily enough, I can't say too much, but there's quite a nice little buzz about it, and there's like some things going on. So hopefully that'll maybe be getting released middle of this year, end of this year.
Can you say what that's called? Can you?
Oh yes, it's called School Fight.
School Fight.
If you go onto Instagram, it's actually on Instagram. I think it's called School Fight Movie. And there's little bits on there, but obviously because it's getting edited now, there's not that much content you can put on it. But I guess there'll be more news about it soon. But I mean, I was supposed to be on another HBO show. It's getting filmed in London just before this happened.
Yeah.
So, and it was like a week and a half. I worked on it a little bit, and then it was like, no, that's getting cancelled now. We're not doing that. So sit and wait. And then I'd been talked about the chance of going to Canada to do something else. That got scrapped. So, so you know, the same as everyone. We had possible work lined up, and then, you know, from that to nothing. So my whole thing now is keeping busy, but also with this School Fight movie, it's just the little things going on with that. Doing a little bit of sort of press things for that little interviews, and then just sit and wait and see, and hopefully once this all blows over, this coronavirus, then we can all get back to some normality and get back to doing what we enjoy doing, you know, making good content for TV, film, and being happy again and seeing mates again and having a laugh on set. That's what it's about.
Did I read as well that you're trying to get into a bit of stunt coordinating as well? Yeah,
so it's basically a natural level. So what you do is you go from being, well, it's changed a little bit now, but when I first got on, you'd be like probationary level, then intermediate, then stunt coordinator. So when I was doing Game of Thrones, I actually got to stunt coordinator. I got to the top level, and I've done everything I need. So on Game of Thrones, do you remember they had like the dragon unit?
Yes.
So it was all the stuff. Yeah. So quite a few times, Riley very kindly, if the guy who was looking after it was off or was busy, he'd put me on that just to go and look after it as like stunt coordinator. But and then a few of the little things on set, and just say, just go and watch the set for an hour. I've got to pop off, and so I'm not the stunt coordinator, but you're the stunt coordinator on set. So any questions, they'd ask you, and then just basically just trying to build on that. But the thing with stunts is you've got to be very careful. Being both at the same time really doesn't work. And I'm very fit, and I can still perform for a while. So I enjoy performing. So I still want to be a stunt performer and do stunts for quite a while, and just slowly try and get a bit more experience coordinating, and then eventually maybe move into coordinating. I don't just want to go, I'm a coordinator now, that's it. Because I love performing. I love being on set. I love meeting new people. I love the experience of going away, and you know, the nerves of doing something different. That's what I've done for 20 years. That's what I enjoy doing. To suddenly go, I'm not doing that. I'm going to try and coordinate. Well, there's a lot of good coordinators, and you've got to learn what you're doing. And I want to get good at it. So working with people like Rowley Earlham, or doing little bits on my own, and try and get a little bit of like confidence and get better at my ability of coordinating. So then eventually when I decide to go, right, that's it, I'm going to coordinate, then I'll be good at it. That's the idea.
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly tell after 20 years, you've still got the sort of love and enthusiasm and passion for what you're doing. And I suppose, I mean, you've got to enjoy what you're doing, especially in that line of work. Otherwise,
the things we get to do, people. I remember. Do you remember in the night shoots, and all the whites had to attack the castle? So it was like, it was quite early on. So we were dressed as all the whites, and we had to be standing there, and then we just ran. It was all the unsullied, standing there with like the thing. So we were attacking all them. So we had to be quite far back, and it was a big charge in, and it was raining, and it was cold, and I was there with some of my mates, and I remember stopping a few, and I was like, stop a minute, just look at where we are now, and just look what we're doing. People would pay to be in these costumes, do what we're doing. You know what I mean? People would, people love it. So to do what we're doing and to be attacking as a white, and that's what sometimes when you get bored or when you're cold, or, you know, even for instance, I'd walk around on set sometimes and I'd be trying to find where the crash mats were, and I'd be looking, and I'd be raining, I'd be pissing down rain, and I'd walk back, and I'd say, like, I was like, oh, I want to go, and I'd stop myself and go, look, I can walk anywhere now. I can walk over to get a coffee and speak to Kit Harington. I can walk over there and speak to whoever. I can go over there and watch them filming a scene. People would give the right leg to be in my position, and you've got to be grateful for that. And that goes for any film set, whether I'm on Star Wars, whether I'm on School Fighting movie we've just been doing, just to be doing something that I enjoy doing. First of all, is I'm not lucky because I've worked hard for it, but I'm very privileged. But also then get paid to do it, to get to see some amazing places, to meet some amazing people. Like, you know, I think anyway, we're very fortunate to be in a position we're in.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. Like, 100%. I mean, you have to enjoy what you're doing, but at the same time, you know, realize, like you say, that a lot of the stuff that you do, people would pay money to be in that position. Like, you know, so
100%.
Don't take it for granted. Like,
all the guys. I remember watching all yous, and I remember I used to hate it, but you'd put blood all over your faces, and it'd be in your beards and down, and I hate getting all that stuff. And every night, and people be coming over on set and squirting stuff in you down your top and all blood, and I'd have prosthetics on, but I'd have like my costume sort of purposely. I was like, but it was like a hood, and it was like you couldn't really put blood down my neck or on my face. It was just a little bit there. But I remember looking at you, and I'd be like, them guys, I couldn't do that every night. I couldn't. But like you said yourself, you sit there and then you go, as horrible as this is, I'm doing something really cool, and people love to be doing this, and that's the same as every level, whether it goes from stuntmen to the actors to caterers to people, to be a part of what we're a part of. You can't forget it. With the show was massive. It's still massive. If I ever go to like America, I can say whatever film I've been in. As soon as you say Game of Thrones, what was that? Like it's people can't believe it. You know what I mean? And that's like, you know, we're very lucky because Game of Thrones will never be again, and we've always can say we've been a part of that.
Yeah. Listen, Paul, thank you very much for giving up your time to come on. Just a little thank you. What we like to give to all our guests is our Wolf and the Crow's vinyl sticker. So we'll get some details off you and pop that out in the post.
Yeah, definitely. I'll keep it up as well because listen, Game of Thrones is finished as far as obviously the CDs, but people love it. I get people messaging me all the time about it still and saying stuff, and so the fact that you're keeping it alive, you know, telling my stories. But like you said, like you were saying, you're in that behind the scenes thing we done, and it showed off different people's stories from like the stunts to the Night King. Yeah. It's amazing. Everyone's got these own individual stories and where they come from, what they've done. And the fact that you're doing this is great. So keep it up because people want to see it, and it's nice then because it keeps it alive as well.
Yeah. No, thank you very much. I appreciate them comments too, Paul. Wish you all the best in the future. I'm sure the fans are going to love this one, and hopefully meet you on set again at some point somewhere once all this lockdown sort of gets back to a bit of normality.
Take care of yourself, look after yourself, and thanks again.
No worries, Paul. And for the watch.
So you see, I think because Paul is, you know, little person, that what you've got there is like, you know, he'll get more work than your average stuntman. That's why his repertoire is so big. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but as he said, it's not just because of his height and niche that he has. It's because he's good at what he does.
Oh, very, very good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you know, so he'll have that niche covered. Do you know what I mean? But he is very good at what he does, and I can attest to that because he was up at the Frozen Lake in season 7 as well. You know, always fucking always up the front with the rest of, rest of stuntman, used all the time.
Yeah.
So highly regarded within the stunt team. Do you know what I mean? I always thought to myself, well, he's highly regarded within the stunt team by Rowley and Vlad and Ratza and all the rest of the guys. Like, they fucking love him, highly professional as well,
And a true gent. Proper sound bloke.
Yep, and you can definitely tell that from the interview.
Yeah.
Which is great, which is just, we're interviewing people and they're just so fucking nice. It's great, So brilliant interview. Well done, Bobby. Nice one, son. Happy day. So guys, if you like this interview, you know what you can fucking do. You can like, share, and subscribe to this fucking channel. Come on the fuck. If you haven't done it already, what's wrong with you? And then there's a bell there. Hit that bell. That'll remind you about all the times that the Wolf and the Crows are update stuff on the internet, on the YouTube. And there's a join button there. See, if you hit that join button, it basically opens up like a Pandora's box of fucking of just fucking joy, right? Well, what? Yeah.
Give you that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, over on the Patreon, as always, you can get the full extended, uncut, unedited, raw videos of all these interviews.
Oh, and there's many.
You get extra content there, sort of pre-interview and post-interview chats that me and Andy have with the guests when we have them on.
There's one thing that I've noticed, that our viewers, they love it raw, man. They do love it raw. And you can go ultimate raw on fucking Patreon with the Wolf and the Crows boys. Do you know what I mean? So there you go.
And the MP3 versions over on Patreon too, of all the interviews. And MP3 versions of a couple of things, but you can get all of them over there. Go over and check it out.
Oh, I think that join button's good. What do you see the fucking Patreon? Right? So, brilliant interview. So, guys, thank you very much for joining us. And there's only one thing really left to do. Bobby, you know the drill song.
For the watch.
Hey, as always,
Never forget.